Welcome to the Working Tools Podcast, where today we'll have part two of our interview with Most Worshipful Brother Steve C. Martin, for Masons in Washington, and his lovely wife, Robin.
Ladies and gentlemen, brethren all, welcome to the Working Tools Podcast, a casual conversation around Freemasonry. First, it's important to note that our thoughts and opinions are our own and do not reflect those of our Grand Lodge or respective craft or concordant bodies. Please connect with us and ask questions via our website at theworkingtoolspodcast.com.
Today on the Working Tools Podcast, we have the four of us guys who you see all the time. I'm Matt Appel. I'm a member of Mill Creek 243. We have Craig Graham from Kalamalka Lodge number 160 in British Columbia. Steve Chung from Prince Charles number 153 in Kelowna, BC, and David Colbeth from King Solomon number 60 in Auburn, Washington. And we have our special guests are back. We have Most Worshipful Brother Steve C. Martin, Grand Master of the Most Worshipful Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons of Washington, and his lovely wife, Robin, who's I forget how you say it exactly. What is she's your reason for doing things?
Just everybody
your
needs a reason why.
There we go. The reason why.
That's my reason why.
As you've been known to say. So first of all, thank you for being back on the show. And we talked about a couple of your initiatives from the previous year, and we wanted to work in some of the other things you did. So the thing that interests me the most, because I didn't get to go, was your trip to Scotland. So what was, my first question is, how far out did you plan that? Was it?
I was planning that before, when I was Deputy Grand Master, I was planning that. And then as soon as Most Worshipful Brother Ed got done with his DC trip, that's when he, okayed it for me to start pushing it. And so it's been since April or May of last year is when I really started putting it all together and working with the travel agency and getting it all squared away.
And so you were gone for just under 2 weeks, is that right?
Yeah, 10 days. Yeah.
And you got to see things both Masonic and non-Masonic in Scotland?
Yeah, we did. We I wanted to put in, of course, Masonic stuff because it was a Masonic trip, but I wanted to put in just sights of Scotland, and I wanted to do my goal was to have enough tour time that everybody got to see everything, and enough free time that if you wanted to get away from everybody, you could. And I think it worked out really, really well.
Excellent. So Robin, did you have a good time?
I had a blast. There was 48 of us that attended, and we didn't lose anybody, so that was a good thing. Everybody got on the buses when we had to be there, and it was so much fun, and the weather was beautiful. We got rain on a few times, but it was awesome.
That's actually why I didn't go, because I was afraid you'd deliberately leave me in Loch Ness or something. Feed me to the beast.
I kept joking about, I was going to take 48 people with me. I was only coming home with 30.
That's quite the contingency to keep track of everybody. But
it worked out. It worked out really well. It was, there was only a couple of times where I had to kind of push people along, saying, "Okay, we need to get back on the bus, or else we're going to be late for the next thing." But for the most part, everybody was very respectful of everybody else's time, and we did so many things. We did an Outlander tour, if you're familiar with Outlander, the TV show. We did a tour of the castle in Edinburgh. We did a tour of the Holyrood Palace. We did a tour of the Edinburgh Underground. We did a tour of a distillery, of course. We did Stirling Castle and the Wallace Monument and the Falkirk Wheel. We did Roslyn Chapel. We did we attended lodge in Edinburgh. It was Canongate Kilwinning number 2, and that lodge was chartered in 1677, and they have been meeting in the same lodge room that they're meeting in today since 1735.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. And it was great because they invited all the ladies in before the meeting, and they did a big history of their lodge and talked about it, and the ladies really enjoyed it. And then they went out to dinner and we went to lodge. So it was an amazing time. And everybody that I've talked to, and I think I've talked to everybody now, had a great time. Unfortunately, as happens with large groups, when you travel, long distances, there was a little bit of a bug that somebody got, and then it slowly went through everybody in the tour. But it was, we had guys, that were, who was the youngest, probably in their 30s to, couples in their 70s, maybe 80s. It was a great trip.
And you got to play St. Andrews.
I forgot that one. Yeah, I got to play golf at St. Andrews
in crazy
it was,
costume.
No, it wasn't costume. No, come on.
I'm sorry. Fashionable pants. Yes, I'm sorry. Fashionable pants.
Yes. Yeah, if you didn't see any of the pictures, Steve and Craig, myself, the Grand Marshal, the Junior Grand Deacon, and the Deputy Grand Master all wore knickers when we played golf at St. Andrews, and they were black, red, and white diamonds, and we had on these polos. It was fun.
And they had red socks, hat.
The tam o' shanter or whatever, I forget.
Yeah, we had those tam o' shanter hats as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were also the red and the white and the black diamonds. So
we have to make that picture the picture for this episode, the thumbnail for this episode, so we can warn everyone.
I'll send it to you.
We do want people to watch. Man. It'll certainly be attention grabbing.
Exactly.
And in all honesty, a lot of times I do that kind of stuff because and it's probably petty on my part, but I think about Facebook. And when you post a picture of the fact that I was in St. Andrews playing golf, living out one of my dreams, playing golf at the birthplace of golf, and all people could focus on was the pants, and it just, it irritates me that's what social media, that's what they focus on, is the negative, and let's make fun of them instead of the fact that those guys are living out their dream of playing golf at the birthplace of golf, and so, yeah, it's kind of petty, and I do it on purpose a lot of times, but it's also to make a point, that social media is just toxic.
You could have been wearing kilts.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, you just acknowledged that the pants were the problem part of that experience, that was the low part.
No, I just acknowledged that's what other people said.
I'll leave it. Speaking of social media, I'll leave it to those that want to browse. But if you just search up Robin Williams and golfing explanation, how golfing starts, it's a funny video.
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
Yes, Robin Williams and golfing. He explains how golf starts, and it's hilarious. Yeah.
What do you do when you find it? You hit it again.
What is it? One time? No, 18 times.
Cool. So moving on to the next thing we found in there, your charity event. Tell us about how that went.
So I started out with an idea of doing a black tie dinner. Because Masons love to get dressed up. I mean, we do. And to get together and break bread and just have a good time. And so when I first started thinking about this, again, this happened while I was Deputy Grand Master. I was planning it and everything. One thing that I think is one of my strengths as a leader is that I know what I'm good at and I know what I'm not good at. And I know that if I'm not good at it, I need to find the person that's the best at doing what I want to get done. So I went out and talked to very worship brother Steve Dinkins about this dinner that I wanted to do, because he has been running the crab feed that Frank S. Land does for several years, and they make a lot of money at it and they have a good time. So I got him on board to run it. My goal, I told him originally, I think I told him my goal was $30,000, and he laughed at me. And I didn't really understand why. And I said, all right, fine, we'll go for, $40 or $50,000, whatever. I just want to make money for my charity. So we put together a great steak dinner. We had a great auction. We had live auction. We had silent auction. And when all was said and done, for that one dinner, that one night, I netted $80,000. Yeah. And
For
and it was
charity,
a
to be
huge
clear.
for charity.
Well
Yes.
done. Well done. Well done.
And my charity is the Washington Masonic Services Youth Scholarships. And so, that was way beyond what I expected. And yeah, it's just, so I've created a scholarship that is it's not tied to a 4-year college. It's not tied to, you have to go to a university. It's any trade school, any IT school, any 4-year college. If you're in a master's program, if you're in a doctorate, whatever you're doing after high school for education, no matter what year you're in, you're going to have to pay money. And so I've opened this up to anybody that's taking any education beyond high school. I've got to come up with I still don't have the exact caveats on it, but essentially you just have to have a Masonic family connection in order to qualify. And then there will be like 6 questions that will rate the answers on those questions. And my goal is to not make it, what's the word I'm looking for? Not based on GPA or not merit based. That's not merit based, but needs based, and, just trying to make it available to more people.
I know
That's
that
excellent.
the Scottish Rite was able to donate a big chunk as well. Has there been additional donations over the years? And do you know how much approximately total has been raised this year?
So for my charity, I'm almost at $100,000. I found out after the fact that it was a little confusing on the Scottish Rite donation.
Okay.
Because that technically didn't go into my fund. That went into they already had a fund.
Okay.
They donated it at my gala dinner, but it went into a different fund. So, and once they explained it to me and it made sense, I'm okay with it. I was honestly a little disappointed when I first realized that wasn't part of, but they explained it to me and it made sense. So I'm almost at $100,000, and that was my end goal, was to get to 100,000 so that I could have you figure 5% a year, it's going to grow every year. That's a $5,000 scholarship to start off with.
Well, if I could, as a lowly Mason, maybe ask for an update to go out across the jurisdiction of where you're at. And if you're close enough, I'll bet you we can get you over that number.
I'm going to do that. I joined the Masonic Services Finance Committee meeting last week on the road, and I got a phone call when they were talking about the budget. And so I don't know what my number is right now, and I need to reach out tomorrow and find out exactly what my number is, because I'm sure I can get to.
And you've got this small event coming up in a few weeks, this little thing happening, and
this little thing called the annual communication. Yeah.
there might be a few guys there that might be a few guys there that might help you out.
We live in an era of creative accounting anyways, that, there's always another zero that can be thrown in on top somewhere. It's good. I'm curious about something that came up just briefly in the previous episode, the traveling gavel.
Yes.
So what is that a program in Grand Lodge down there? Or is it just something sort of a Grandmaster's prerogative? How does that work?
It was something that I started this year, because again, I was really, after COVID, I really wanted to get people out traveling and visiting again. And I think it's in my message that I talk about, you know, it is our right as Masons to travel to other lodges. And I think it's our obligation as Masons to get out and travel and see other lodges and brothers. And so I started the traveling gavel, and the rules were very loose, you know, that you could take it to another lodge or another lodge could come pick it up from you. Originally, it was like you had to have 3 brothers. And then I'm like, well, no, I don't care. If you got 1, that's enough for me. You traveled, you know? So I believe I started it at King Solomon, didn't I? Or did I did, because King Solomon on that Monday has the strawberry feed. So I took it to them and it started there, and it's been all over the I-5 corridor. It's been over to the peninsula, and it's now over in Spokane. And it's going to the lodges over on the east side of the mountains. And it was just a ploy by the Grand Master to try to get people out and travel and make it interesting. So it's worked, I think.
Is the Samsung tag still working for it, or is it the Facebook that's giving it away?
Let me see. Let me see if I think last I checked, the tag was still working. Let me see if it's. Let's see.
While he's looking that up, is that not a common thing in BC?
What, tracking gavel?
Traveling
Yeah,
gavels.
traveling gavel. Yeah.
They're a thing that have, you know, they appear every now and then. Some districts have functioning gavels. Some have tomahawks. On the island, they have traveling totems. We used to have a traveling gavel here. I don't know what happened to it, the one that was in District 9. I actually think that another district came and claimed it, and they were too far away for somebody to go claim it back. I was actually going to use the email communications that I have and put the question out as to who knows where it is right now.
And it's interesting that you say that, because that's almost exactly why I started the Grand Masters traveling gavel, because I know that there are districts that have their traveling gavel or their traveling master or whatever. And I heard a lot of, yeah, we used to have one, but I don't know what's happened to it. You know, we've got this, but I nobody knows where it's at. So again, it was kind of my backdoor way of trying to get that back into the focus. It's like, hey, if you've got these things, travel, use them, do it. That's what they're there for. They're not, you know, they're not just something that we say, oh yeah, we used to do it. It's like we did it for a reason, to promote travel. Let's keep doing it. You know, I've been to I believe I've been to 55, maybe 56 stated lodge meetings in 48 weeks. And that doesn't include the, you know, the district events or the King Solomon strawberry feed or the, you know, the normal events that we do. That's just stated meetings where I went and visited as Grand Master, because I wanted to walk the walk, not just talk the talk. Don't just tell people you got to get out and travel. I wanted to show them that I was willing to do it.
Well, you warned us because of that tag. You could just randomly show up and
it is still working. It's in Spokane.
So do we know the last post? The last post says it was going to go to Concordia. Do we know if it went to Concordia, or is it still any idea?
I just
I'm just curious where we need to go steal it. Bring it back to the west side before annual communication.
I think it's in Spokane 34. I think. I know that Manitou was going to try to go get it, but I haven't. I'll reach out to Roger and find out. It's in It must be at somebody's house, not at a lodge, because
I can see this
yeah,
year.
I'll have to.
This year, our stated communication doesn't fall in the Strawberry feed. It has for the last 4 years. It kind of rotates because of the second Monday. And so there's a chance that if we were to get it for our stated meeting on the 10th of June, we might be able to hold on to it till the end of communication. That would be kind of fun. Bring it back where it started.
Absolutely, that would be cool. That would be really cool, actually.
Yeah. If we could work that out, I'd almost be willing to travel. Although 9th is my birthday, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, go get it and then take it back to Grand Lodge from King Solomon.
Exactly.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Does your app tell you how many places it's been in your year?
I don't know. I'd have to go look, but I did put a book inside it, and so every master of every lodge that's had it has signed the book, so I'll be able to see specifically where it's been for the year.
I'll have to get.
And the Facebook page was pretty good for the most part on keeping the updates. But there were sometimes it got a little bit slack, and then sometimes it traveled around so fast that they couldn't keep up on
Yeah,
Facebook. So
I think that first week we had it barely 24 hours for King
Yeah.
Solomon. And then I think there was 3 or 4 lodges that came to our Strawberry feed to compete for it that night. And then I think it went to Kent, and it was within 5 days. It had been at 4 or 5 places, 4 or 5 lodges. It was
Yep.
pretty great. It was awesome.
That's awesome. I look forward to hearing how many lodges it's made its journey to, because visiting is the heartbeat of our organization, and
Absolutely.
I try to do as much of that as possible. So I'd be interested to hear an update, David, when you go and get it.
I'm just concerned this is starting to sound a bit like a black bag job here. There's lock picking, there's pulling the van around to the front of the lodge building at 2 a.m. and
So-
was last seen. If you pick up the tag, it's moving at 65 miles an hour down the I-15 right now.
Satellites are linking up.
Exactly.
I know we're probably running onto our time again, but one of the other things we like to do is give the Grand Master, the opportunity to, say whatever he wants to close out his year to our listeners, because words of wisdom, any message you want to get out there, this floor is yours.
Well, first of all, I'm going to ask Matt. You look like you had something you wanted to ask or say, or
Oh, I had wanted to, ask impolitic questions and put people on the spot, and ask Robin where her favorite place to have visited was this year. Where did you get to go that, other than Scotland? We're going to put that aside. Where did you get to go that you enjoyed?
Oh, there are so many lodges. I mean, I just enjoyed myself so much going to see lodges that we had never been to, and getting my door pictures for my project, and it's been just an amazing year, and I can't pick one place that meant more than any of the others.
You're just too kind and clever to fall for my pathetic little trap, is what I'm hearing here. So that was all I wanted to say. I just wanted to.
Okay. So for closing comments, I'll actually let you go first.
Oh,
Just a recap of the year.
this year has been awesome, and it's going to be difficult to let it go, but I know that the people coming behind are ready to step up and have fun like we did. And I just want to thank everybody who has made us so welcome when we come to their lodges, and made me feel welcome. And sometimes I do sit downstairs by myself, but it's okay, because we have dinner all together, and I have a blast, and I love going in to see the lodge rooms and just being welcomed. And I've had an amazing year, and I'll miss y'all.
Yeah, now you'll both be twice retired. I don't know what you guys are going to do with yourselves. It's
So-
I will say.
Oh, go ahead.
I just want to second what Robin said, second what I said earlier about Robin, that I just love seeing you at things, and you're a light of sunshine in any given room. So thank you for your
Thank you.
involvement, and I'm sure it's
Thank you.
not always fun to be sitting by yourself in the downstairs in the lodge building, but
Especially
it
when
works for me. So
if they shut the doors and they're locked, then I feel safe. Every once in a while, there was one lodge we were at, and all of a sudden I hear bang, bang, bang on the front door. So it's like, oh, as long as it's locked, I'm okay.
So sorry, Grandmaster, I didn't
So-
interrupt.
No, that's all right. So for me, for the year, you know, my whole goal is, and I may have talked about it in my address, I may not have, I don't recall, is, you know, I'm not going to fix everything in a year. I'm not going to change the world in a year, but I was going to do everything that I could to make this fraternity better than it was when I left, than it was when I started. Just a little bit better. And, you know, David and Matt, you guys know me, and you know I don't like to talk about my successes and my talk about me. But when it comes to that, I think I've done a great job. And I think that I have left this fraternity better today than it was when I started. Yeah, and it's just been such an honor to be in this position. And, you know, I look through everything that we've done this year, and you've got membership experience, you know, with all of the district meetings and everything that we've done, we've improved the membership experience. Masonic education, lodge leadership retreat, proficiency in lodge management, the lodge proficiency program. I've done a little bit to make that better. Leadership and management. I think I've got a good leadership style, and you look at the guys that are coming up behind me, and our fraternity is in great shape right now. The Grand Lodge of Washington is in great shape. Beyond the lodge, going out and playing golf with brothers, going out. There was a lodge that I might have even talked about this on our last podcast, a lodge that had a special deputy. And it was, I think, the third year to appoint the special deputy. And they asked me if I was going to reappoint him. And I asked them, well, what's it for? Well, there's just some issues with this lodge and Grand Lodge. It's like, well, what are the issues? Well, there was this or that, or, you know, and so I said, all right, I'll appoint the special deputy. But then I called the secretary and I called the worshipful master, and I invited them out to dinner. Let's just go out to dinner and talk. We went out to dinner away from lodge at a restaurant in downtown, and we talked masonry for 2.5 hours. And the special deputy told me that dinner, that conversation, did more to fix the problems in that lodge than the last 2.5 years. And it was a great experience, you know, beyond the lodge. It's so important. Philanthropy, you know, I've talked about my charitable investments that I'm doing, and I've raised a lot of money doing that. My plan is, because it's near and dear to my heart, is I'm going to make a significant donation to the Rainbow Dad Scholarship Fund as well, in addition to this other scholarship. And then technology, you know, it's the sixth support, this kind of thing. You know, the social media that we've been doing to keep people up to date. We've really lived the six supports in the last year. And you know, again, I'm humbly, I'm extremely proud of the job that I've done in the last 12 months. And I look forward to seeing what these guys are going to do after me, because I think it's good, and we're going to have a renaissance in the state of Washington masonry. So I guess that's in a nutshell, that's my year. And I wouldn't change a thing. I like I said, we both have had the time of our life, and I'm sad that it's coming to an end, but I am excited for the future.
Well, Grandmaster, I want to say too that in this game we call masonry, we couldn't have had a better dealer. And thank you for dealing us pocket aces.
Oh, well played, sir. Yeah, no, thank you, Grandmaster. Yeah, for for all your commitment to over the year, well, the last several years. It's not a 1 year job. And yes, thank you. There you go. So with that, on behalf of Craig and Stephen and David and myself, Grandmaster Robin, or I keep meaning to say Robin first because I feel like you always get second billing. So Robin, Grandmaster, thank you very much for being here and being on the podcast. And thank you all for listening to the Working Tools podcast. Goodbye.